you can be from where you from, but you don't have to be of where you from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a big thing, man. These kids think they the first to do something. I tell anybody, I go to any hood and stand on the worst block because I can relate to everyone.
That's right.
And it's just like, man, when I used to go around the young kids that's selling dope, I'm not gonna tell you stop. I'm gonna teach you how to do it smarter. You know, like cats told me when I was younger. They come from jail or whatever, prison. It was like, man, you'll get away with more if you go to school every day. So I went to school every day. Still working my job, but I was, going to school every day. Then I created a job at school, so I'm working.
Baseball, I mean, it's a good time of the year. You get baseball, football, NBA,
Basketball.
Yeah, you get it all.
WNBA.
Yeah, you get it
just
all.
Sports right now. That's what October is.
Well, tell me something. Who you rooting for tonight?
Me? No, Padres, man. Hey, come on.
Okay.
Come on, man.
I mean, I like the Dodgers tonight.
Oh, I got Padres. Okay. Yeah,
And this is a crazy thing.
Yeah, you can talk about the Cowboys and the Dodgers.
I know he likes them Phillies, and I like the Mets tonight.
That's why I grew up on Phillies, man.
Yeah,
We used to walk to the name Veteran Stadium to see the Phillies play. That's when they had the free tickets in the hot dog pack. Me and my buddies, we used to walk, get on the bus, however, just to get to a game. Sit up in the nosebleeds, but we was happy. And I always been a Phillies fan. Phillies and the Braves.
Really?
My grandfather liked the Braves. That's how I grew up.
But same division.
Yep. So, I mean, whoever win in that division, that's who I'm rooting for.
You sound like Nick, huh? There's about 2 or 3 teams, whoever wins. That's what.
It's only 2. I'm not what's that, LeBron Hopper and all those. Yeah. No, it's ride or die. That's it.
Well, you from Philly, man. You're a Philly guy. I mean, do you like the Eagles?
Hold on. I'm from Philadelphia. I'm from North Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
You from Philadelphia, baby.
Nah,
I love
we
Philly.
have other terms, but it's North Philly.
North Philly.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
We our own city, man.
I went to Philadelphia when I was a very, very young man. I think I got to Philly when I was 18 years old. So I have to almost say
I came down there and stole your bike.
You probably did.
We used to walk down the Temple, steal bikes.
You probably did steal a bike, but I was too poor to have a bike at that time. But no, man, Philly is a wonderful place, man. It's a great sports town, man, and
Tough.
tough town.
You gotta grow.
Oh, for me, man, hey, like I said, I think the only way you can shut them up is by balling. You know what I mean? If you didn't ball,
You better fight. You better fight.
Yeah. You got to fight. You know what you're getting into. You know what I mean? I think I always did pretty good against them for some reason. But it was you knew what was coming. You know, the city was tough. You had to show up, man. You know what I mean? And I know I just ate the best cheesesteak about 3 o'clock in the morning one night, and there was a line around the corner to get a cheesesteak.
From what place?
Pat's?
No, what's the other one?
Gino?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you eat that nasty stuff, man.
Where you get your
Better
cheesesteak
go to
at?
North Philly to Max's.
Give it up.
That's legendary.
I got one better than both of them. All of them. Go to Temple Owls. Owl's Nest.
Bro,
on Broad
I
Street.
probably went there once.
Oh, man.
Max is right there by the high school.
Yes, it is.
We walk, the lines be long, man. Those are the best. We don't use cheese whiz and all that stuff, man. Just all natural.
Yeah, all natural.
yeah. It's not a tourist spot, but it's not a place where just anybody go.
So basically you're
it's in the
saying
city.
there ain't no place don't be going if you don't know somebody.
Exactly. But the food good. Oh, yeah. Yep, it's still there, man. It's not going anywhere. I remember one year we played Philly. I bought the whole organization cheesesteaks from there. So I bought over like 1,000 cheesesteaks.
God damn.
That's back when they could still allow people in the stadium. So they backed the truck up and brought them all there for after the game.
Wow.
Yep.
Hey,
man.
Cool.
I mean, had to give them the best.
Growing up in Philly is pretty rough spot, man. I mean, how did you navigate yourself through that?
It was rough, man. Well, I was born down south, but raised up in Philly, and just from day one fight. I was a little kid. I got in a fight with a couple kids. She tried to jump me, pulled out a stick. I got a nickname Stick. Come to find out, those two kids was twins, but they was my cousins.
Oh,
So after that, we used to go around and just jumping on people. But nah, that's how I started out, man. So everywhere I went, I knew I had to fight. From middle school, elementary school, that was just part of life. You know?
Oh, I'm sorry. When did your love for football? When did that happen? When did you say, you know, this is?
Well, we
I love
always
this.
played street ball. Growing up, you know, I was 10, 11 playing with grown men. Street ball. That's when they tack you into the car. That's out. You hit the concrete, you out. There's no designated spots being out. But I always played with like older guys. So I was competing with them, you know, so they were trying to hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you. And you know, it's crazy when one year I was in middle school, a parent tried to sue my family because we was out there playing street ball with kids and broke his hip. We playing football. I'm like, I didn't know, I'm just hitting hard.
Yeah, right.
But really love for football came about once I realized I wasn't gonna grow to be 6'6". You know, played football, but I love basketball. You know, all the crazy dunks. I wanted to be the next Barkley, the next Johnson, the next the six, whoever was 6'6", that was my goal. And realized I wasn't gonna grow that tall, so I had to go to door number 2.
I said door number 2.
Yeah,
Hey.
6'3". You know, if I was
in
only
high heel
3
shoes.
more inches taller. I played. The thing about it, I played for my high school, but they had to run track. They did too much. You know, that's cut into my work after school.
His work.
Do you eventually just have to like focus on one sport to make it? Right? Like, what is that age? Like, you kind of have to.
Nah, I mean, schools recruit you. Schools still let you play 2 sports, but
Because I know you played 2 sports in college.
I played too. Yeah, but I think now kids don't do it because social media. They got them specializing at 8 years old. They got hitting coaches at 8 years old.
yeah.
Weight coaches at 8 years old. Let them have fun. Yeah, let them play. Let them play.
Yeah. And that's
Strength
right.
coach, weight coach.
Yep.
I mean, 8, 9, 10 years old. I mean,
I don't know an 8-year-old wants a job.
you know what though? But whatever sport you play, those muscles develop. You gotta let them rest. Go to the next sport and develop some different type of muscles, and that's what an athlete is. An athlete, you know what I mean? It's I very.
Remember they used to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket back in the day, but now these kids are putting all their eggs in one basket. I'm a baseball player, I'm a football player, I'm a track guy, I'm just this.
A hooper, yeah.
And you just don't know what your body's going to develop too. It's almost like you said about a lot of them use that muscle so much. And what made us, I think, at our time good was we would go from football to basketball, from basketball to track or baseball. So we was able to use all those different muscles and have those different memories within them. But each one of those sports helped the next sport.
Oh yeah, you become an athlete. You know what I mean? And you think about it. You know, one of our shows earlier, we were talking about the injuries in baseball and all that stuff. You think about it, if you're a little kid and you're a pitcher, you're pitching at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now all of a sudden, you don't really have time off, right? You're constantly using your arm. You're playing travel ball, playing 12 months a year. You know, we don't know the ramifications of when it's going to show its head, right? You know, but these guys 21 or, I mean, high schoolers. I mean, Tommy John is like, you know, like going to the dentist. You know what I mean? Tommy John is, you got people want to get Tommy John now so they can throw harder.
What?
Yeah.
These
Whoa,
young-
you just, hold, let's go
These
back
young
to that.
kids want surgery.
You telling me they want the Tommy John surgeons to
Yes.
throw harder?
Yeah.
They've been doing that.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I've been living on a rock.
It's been like that for a while.
I didn't know that.
That's baseball. Just like football, they hold their kids back.
Yeah.
Well, I was
that'd be
one
the
that,
same
one
thing.
that got held back on purpose. You know, or did they hold you back on purpose?
It wasn't on purpose. Mine
North Philly?
Yeah,
North
mine
Philly?
wasn't on purpose.
North Philly.
Just had to choose. Did I want to go to work or do I want to go to school and work?
You're a mess, man. But hey, when was the very first time you felt as a youngster that football was the direction you wanted to go in?
Man, it was just another extension of fighting, beating people up. You know, now I could do it and people cheer me on.
Right.
I ain't getting locked up. I'm not getting kicked out of school. So
Okay.
it was just fun. And then I realized once I got into the sport in high school and kind of taking it serious, that I was pretty good. And so I just started competing against guys. We had the newspaper back then, so every Saturday I pulled up the newspaper. What this guy over here at Dobbins did. What, by the way, Dobbins didn't want me. That's why I wound up at Simon Gratz. But anyway,
Congrats.
yep. So I just started researching guys and watching film and just started studying back in high school.
Okay.
And so I just did what the NFL players did. I just did what the college players did. And I started just asking questions to not only my coaches, but other coaches and seeing what they was looking for as players. So I went and did the research. I did everything on my own to find out about my skill set. And, you know, I was studying film before I knew I was studying film.
Right.
So
So what was the when you made the choice to go to East Carolina? What was the one thing that you saw at East Carolina that said this is where I should be as a ball player?
well, it wasn't a choice, you know.
Okay.
After you fail your SATs 2 times, then school's back off for you.
Okay, I get it.
Because initially was going to go to Oklahoma State, like I told you, and the coach got fired. And so I was looking forward to that, something different.
At that time, who was the coach? Pat Jones?
Nah, before,
Before the guy?
yeah, before, guy.
Before Mike
Yeah.
Gundy?
Yeah,
The guy with the mullet.
yeah, before him.
Before Gundy.
But yeah, so I
Was Dave Wanstead there?
he wasn't the one that was.
But I know Wanstead was there when I was there.
Was he?
Yeah, he was there because he was there with Pat Jones. Actually, he was there with Jimmy Johnson, and then Jimmy left and went to Miami, and that left Pat Jones and Dave Wanstead there. I was wondering, I'm not sure if he ever came back to be the head coach, but evidently he didn't because you can't remember.
Yeah,
You-
no,
I-
it was a black coach.
Oh, it was a black guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's how I had different options because he got fired. Couldn't pass the SAT. We didn't even offer studying at my high school. So,
Okay.
first time I went in and just said, I'm gonna take it. That's when it was only a 700. I got a 690.
Okay.
I'm like, oh man, I'll pass it next time. Studied when talked to teachers when they found resources to help me study. I got a worse grade studying.
Wow.
So I was like, man, I don't know. So the last time I took it, I'm in there talking. I'm like, man, I'm going to JUCO. I'm being Kansas, so I don't even care right now. So, and ECU stuck with me. They were the ones that said, we'll send you to JUCO if you don't make it. And wound up passing. So all the other schools came back. But, you know, ECU stuck with me.
You're a loyal person. I mean, for me, knowing you myself, you're very loyal. And I mean, I'm going to tell a story about you later on in the show, not to interrupt you, but I'm going to tell you a story. This how, when I say a loyal man, you're a loyal person. But so you get to East Carolina and you playing very well. What did anything, a light bulb go off and says, man, I think I can play in the NFL?
Probably my sophomore year, but going into my freshman year, you know, I got to college. I was only 215, just tall and slim because I played basketball all day. And they was like, we're going to redshirt you if you don't gain weight. Like, so I'm like, what's redshirt? Oh, you be here extra year. In college, an extra year? Nah. So I got to school early. I told them, I signed with you guys. When I graduate high school, you got to get me out of North Philly.
Have to.
So once I graduated high school, the next week I was in college. They found a family, the Monroes, for me to stay with. I'm over there. I felt like I was living with the Huxtables. I mean, mom made my bed, cooked breakfast in the morning, come back, got lunch, you got dinner. I'm like, man, I don't want to leave here.
not to cut you off. This is a great statement. You said that you wanted to get out of North Philly immediately.
Yep.
That's weird because when I graduated from high school, the first thing that I told my coaches, as soon as I graduate, can y'all please get me now? Because I understood what I can get into in East St. Louis. Was that kind of the same thing that you was thinking about in North Philly?
Yep.
Things that you can get into that could blow where you really was trying to go?
Yep, because I seen it all, seen people, you know, had opportunities to get out, but stuck around too long, and they got caught up with other people, or something happened to them. So I already knew what was going to happen, you know. Free times on the summer, a high school kid from the inner city, I already knew what was gonna happen. So I was just blessed that they found a family for me to get out of North Philly, and that changed my life, you know. And but I knew I didn't want to be in North Philly. I didn't want to go to nothing against it, but HBCUs, because I'm like, I went to high school with that. I didn't grow up in a diverse environment, neighborhood, so I wanted diversity. I wanted to go somewhere where it reflect more like the country, and so that's why I wanted to go to Oklahoma State. But East Carolina, you know, turned out to be a great fit for me.
Wow,
Because-
isn't that something? Both of us started off at Oklahoma State. That's something, man. But that's a place that I thought that I could go because when I was young, growing up in East St. Louis, I had never had an interaction with another race until I went to college because it was just like I was just around my kind, you know, all black people. And then once I got to college, it was, you know, it was like I've heard some people say, some white guys have culture shock. I mean, it happened to me too. You know what I'm saying? Because when I got to Oklahoma State, I was like, what the? You know what I'm saying? Because I had never sat down, had a conversation, never hung out. And then, because, you know, you only know what people tell you. You know what I'm saying? And that goes on both sides of races. You know, if somebody tell you this race is bad, that's what you think. So they tell you this race is bad, that's what you think. Until you interact with people and be like, man, where y'all get this crazy crap from? This a cool dude, you know?
And you know, you look at me and Josh from the West Coast, you know, all of us are, you know, I mean, racism exists everywhere, but what I'm saying is you grow up more like black, brown, yellow, white, you know, we all grow up. And I remember when I saw him, me and Shep, and I would talk to him today because I was making sure he was all right with the hurricanes. And I remember this one kid from some part of Washington or Oregon. He just signed high school. I mean, he signed with the Brewers. He was in the same draft as us. And he said, that's the first time he ever seen a black person in person. I was like, man, that's crazy.
Wow.
But hearing you guys say it on the other side too, it's not that crazy.
It's not. It's not that crazy.
That's what you're exposed to.
I never had a white teacher. All my teachers were black. First time I had a white teacher when I was in college. No, that's dead serious,
No, I
man.
know, I get it. I actually understand that.
Yeah.
Like, it's both sides of the coin. It really is. Because, yeah, my grandparents, like, when they moved out of, like, South Dakota, they never seen any black people.
It's too cold, man.
Yeah, it's cold up there, man.
South Dakota.
They're like LA.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, they was a
that
shock.
was probably a culture shock to them. That probably scared the crap out of them.
So in the military, they didn't see any African American people?
No, he was stationed in the Philippines. My grandpa was stationed
No.
for the Korean War.
Yeah.
So
It's like he seemed like, you know, Asians and that stuff, and then right to LA.
whoa,
It's everybody.
Yeah.
blood, Crips,
Yes, it's
Mexican
Asians,
mob.
yeah.
Wow, man. But yeah, so back to you, Rod, is with you getting ready. You having pretty good seasons at East Carolina, and you start kind of figuring out, man, I could play in the NFL, and
Yeah, so like I said, that started with my sophomore year because, like I said, my freshman year, I was like, I'm not staying here long. I had a plan. I'm only going to be here 3 years max. And so I was just training. Like, I always worked out. I always was with the strength coach. I always was studying. I was sitting in the coaches' meeting rooms. So I'm like, I'm trying to absorb all this early. So the sooner I absorb everything and know how they think, the easier this game will be, because I don't need to talk to them because I know the game plan. I know in every situation what they might call. So I'm prepared for it, and I started telling the other guys, man, we might do this next play if we stop them on this. And this is my sophomore year. So, you know, my junior year, it was just off and running. I was like, I'm just go out here and make plays. I mean, I had over 40-some sacks in college. And so I just was making plays. And two of my messed up my bursa sack and ankle. So I was like, man, y'all got me for another year. But I was basically done with school. I was just there. So all I was doing is studying with the coaches, just working out, training. Man, just working on my speed. Ran the 4.4 at 245 pounds. But man, I was just preparing from the time I got there, because I had my sights set on the end goal. And I didn't want to play linebacker, so that's why I kept gaining weight. Because they told me if I would play linebacker, I would have came out second, third round. But I didn't like chasing people. I didn't have patience.
Right.
So when the ball go, I want to go.
Right.
I'm going to get the quarterback. That was my whole goal.
Yeah.
You know, Lawrence Taylor went out to the quarterback, so I'm going out the quarterback. Most people didn't believe. Lawrence Taylor played defensive end in college.
Yes, he did.
And then they moved into linebacker.
Yes, they
Well, I went from linebacker to defensive end to defensive tackle in the pros.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the heaviest you played at? Defensive tackle.
In the pros, about 310. But I got to college at 215, left at 255, got to Oakland at 260, left Oakland at 310. And went to Atlanta.
Exactly.
They told me to lose like 10 pounds, but that was the first time in my career told me to lose weight. Everybody always told me to gain weight. So I got excited. I showed up at camp at 280. They was like, oh, no, you got to gain weight. I'm like, I was happy. I'm like, I finally could lose weight. I finally get my abs back. But they was like, no, you had to gain weight. So I went back up to like 295, 300. But that's the first time in my career I ever heard lose weight. So I got excited. But man, just the journey through the experiences what football gave me. I mean, I'm always appreciative of it because, like I said, started at East Carolina. Well, I started at Simon Gratz. And from there to East Carolina, just all the knowledge and overcoming things because everybody was like, man, you coming from North Philly, you're not going to make it. I'm telling stories of players that already made it before me, even from Simon Gratz. Rasheed Wallace went to my high school. So if he made it, I knew I could make it. I knew others behind me could make it. Yeah. And now, from just that high school experience, my high school won the state championship many times after that because we just turned it around. College, bowl games. But I feel like I had effect on the mindset of the programs because, I'm like, people label it as an overachiever, but it's not been an overachiever. It's been prepared, been ready. So when the time happens, you're ready. You're not playing catch up.
Yeah, that's what they say. If you study for the test, the test is easy. If you put the work in, in the lab or wherever you got to be to, you get on the field, right?
Yep.
And then the game practice has to be harder. You know what I mean? But and isn't it funny though? Like, you made it, so you're overachiever. You're overachiever. I'm overachiever. No, we just had people that believed in us, and we leaned on that avenue. You know what I mean? But there's so many kids that don't have that mindset, and that's where we lose them. They don't have someone to help navigate. My village, man, it looked like a lot of different people. My village was huge.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And people are always building us up, not tearing us down. You know what I mean? Saying you can do this. You can, strive to be better for your family and your community. And, I think, like Big Russ said, that's why I love charity work because it's going back into your village and your community and taking those kids that grew up like, I don't want to say like we did, but similar environments, with all types of obstacles. It's tough to be a kid now. Yes, and be that positive role model for them.
I mean, today's kids are, man, they living through this phone, man. They living through other people's eyes and other people's lives. When instead of trying to go and find their own dream, they living through other people's dreams. And I think that's a shame. But like you, Rod, when you first, what was your experience like the first time that you came into the NFL and you met guys like us, me and Russell and Lance, and how was that experience coming across guys like us?
Well, my first experience was seeing Russell Maryland. Right. I mean, this guy, his story is legendary. You see him on TV because I wanted to go to Miami. Cause I was like, because these guys down there having fun playing football. And so I'm thinking, man, when I meet Russell Maryland, he's going to be about 6'5", about threesome, just jacked up. Man, Russell Maryland about 6 feet tall, like he said, short on.
Like a truck driver.
Yeah, you look like somebody out the street. I'm like, this Russell Maryland? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, this Russell Maryland. And they put my locker right next to his. So, but that was one of the best things that ever happened to me with my locker being next to his because most people don't understand. I wanted to quit my rookie year. It was so hard. I'm a 5th-round draft pick. I got to do everything. I'm just treated like, like a low, almost free agent draft pick. So, but Russ was talking to me. I'm looking for sympathy. Russ was like, "You go ahead, quit. All they gonna do is bring somebody else in, and they gonna get that money. You gonna be back in North Philly out there hustling or doing something else." I'm like, man, look, I ain't need to hear it that way, but I know the consequences.
But that was the way he needed to hear
And
it.
so from that day on, I was always around Russell Maryland and just his wisdom. So, and then he used to tell me, look what James doing, look what Lance doing, just do like them, model them. So I came into an organization where the players taught the other players. And so I learned a lot from Waffle, but I learned everything from the older guys.
Yeah.
And so that was my experience going to the Raiders because I learned it was a business, a lot of politics, and there's a lot of jealousy and envy amongst your teammates from the same position, that same room. So there's a whole lot go on that people don't understand, but I learned that being in Oakland. And so a lot of people can't understand and embrace it and use it to their advantage, but I did. But Oakland, taught me, it raised me, and not just the team, but the city. My family lived in Oakland, so I'm out there hanging with them out there after practice, after games. People like, man, well, yeah, I'm with my family. They think I'm just chilling with them. No, we out.
Doing their thing. But I watch you grow. You know what I'm saying? The years that we was together, I watch you grow, man, and into a great football player because in the beginning, I always thought they had you at the wrong position. And I'm a strategic guy. I play football like you play chess. I'm watching. I'm always 2 moves ahead because my way of thinking football was because I always said I wasn't going to have this athleticism a long time. So I always knew what the offense was going to do to me. I mean, when they broke the huddle, I don't care what back set you was in. If they're in the I set, I knew the 3 top plays they was going to run against me in the I. If you in the near set, I knew the top 3 plays. I knew in the far set, I knew the top 3 plays. If you was in empty, I knew the top 3 plays. And I knew them before you snap. I said to myself, it's only 3 things you can do to me on the snap of the ball. And as long as you knew that, then when I watch you start doing it, I said, he's picking it up. He's picking it up, and I'm watching him. And when he come to the line, he wasn't getting in his stance. He would come to the line and start scanning. And what I mean about scanning, we scanning formations like quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? And when I told Russ, I said, check him out, Russ. He figured it out. And when he figured it out, and I knew he had it then. And so one day, it was probably the last year I was going to play for the Raiders. I went to Al Davis and John Gruden up in their office, and I asked them to make me the backup left end. And John Gruden asked me, why you want to be the backup left end? I said, this is what you need to do to make our team better. Because I knew I was getting older, and I knew my back was gone, but I'm running around lying to everybody saying it's okay. And I told exactly what I told John Gruden. I said, y'all move Darrell Russell to left end, move Rod Coleman to the 3 tech, and we'll be a better team. He said, what? I said, yeah, because I watched them. I watched them grow. You got to know when is your time has passed. I knew my time was passing, and I was there to win. I was there to see young guys get better. I had already did what I was going to do, but I was watching these young guys grow, man, and they was growing so fast, and I was like, man, I'm holding them back. You got to know. And I knew I was holding them back. I was like, man, these guys, they moving. And also I was kind of saving myself too. I was trying to just play on 3rd downs. I wanted to get off them first 2 downs bad, because it was a lot of strain on my back, man. And I went in and I told them, I said, man, I think y'all need to start Rod Coleman at the 3. And John Gruden told me, said, man, we pay you too much money to have you stand on the sideline. You go and show Rod Coleman something else, but he ain't starting. But that was letting you know that the reason I went and did that because I watched him grow. You know what I'm saying? Most people won't go in and tell somebody take their position.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
especially football, because not for long.
It's not for long.
You know what I mean?
But you know what, Greg? I knew I was jacked up. You know what I'm saying? And why? And I was there to win, man. I didn't come there they pay you anyway. I didn't come there just to get paid. I wanted to win.
No, I
bad.
feel you, man.
I wanted a Super Bowl ring, and I saw that these young guys was getting off this ball, and when I started watching them doing what me and Russell was doing, learning the back sets, knowing what the other people on the back end is doing, I said they ready, man. These jokers ready. So they standing on the sideline. I'm eating up plays that they can be even quicker. Now, could I still get to where I needed to be? Yeah, I could still get there. But I could sure have been I could have played probably another extra year with this regular back. If they would have just let me play on third downs, I would have been happy. You know what I'm saying? Because it'd be a point in time in your life. You just got to know when you know.
Yeah, it's like me. Like I said, I remember Paul Mulder saying, "Man, enjoy it while you're young." So at 21, he's saying, "Hey, when you're young, man, enjoy it, because it goes quick." Next thing I know, I play a game, and wake up, go, maybe get a hit, 2 hits, wake up. I mean, go to bed fine. Wake up, and my calf muscles torn or my hamstrings. You know what I mean? In your sleep. You know, I mean, when it's time, it's time. And for me, with all the shoulder issues, not being able to throw a ball, man. I mean, and playing baseball.
And you playing outfield?
And then I moved to first base. Now, what if they threw the ball to me at first and someone took off? I mean, I didn't know how. I mean, that's all going through my head. So at 39, it was like, enough's enough, and it's not fun. You know, when your body starts to go, it's just not.
It's not fun.
Come work.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I was at. My body had went, man, and nobody didn't know my lower lumbar was gone, man. My lower lumbar was gone. And I'm getting down in the three-point stand, and I'm taking Toradol shots, man, 2 a day. I'm taking one in the morning, and I'm taking one in the evening to go home. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was going to tear my kidneys and my liver up later. But, man, I mean, I love the game.
And you got to turn on the light switch. You know what I mean?
Man,
That's what I learned in Oakland.
Ain't no,
The switch.
ain't no fun hitting that light and don't nothing come on.
Yeah,
Stay dark.
It's
Stay
dim.
dark.
It's either dim or like.
You know? But I wasn't afraid to look at a player and say, damn, they're a little better than me right now. And I went in there, and Al told me, he said, James, that took a lot of courage to be able to say that, just to say, hey, man, you know what I mean? No, and a lot of people, and I've said it to a couple of people, they like, man, you crazy, you was ready to give your job away. It wasn't that I was going to give my job away. I was looking down the line.
Yep.
I was being a little selfish, too. I was trying to save myself because I said this would take a lot off me, because you got to understand, I play on the left side of the defense, but I play on the right side of the offense, and most offenses are what? Right-handed.
Right, yep.
So when the funk started coming, the funk coming to me, and my back was like, hey, man, you need to find somebody else to help you with this funk. So, you know, I went in, but it didn't work out. But, man, God bless, man, that he ended up turning out being one great all-pro defensive tackle anyway, because I knew he should have been a D tackle.
I'm still trying to. I seen him on TV.
He was bigger than this, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was like, how much did you weigh? I was like,
Yeah.
you could 310.
But look, I had something to add to the story. How James said he went to the coach's office and said that. He didn't tell me this till what? A
Years
year?
later.
Yeah, like recently.
Recently.
And I did the same thing when I was in Atlanta. So I was like, man, went to my D-line coach, was like, look, man, I'm getting older. You know, all this run stuff's not for me. I want to play third down, but I was like, we had Chauncey and Babno. I was like, I'm going to teach Chauncey to move him from in, because he's built like a D tackle. I'm going to teach him the position. I was like, he's quick off the ball. He has the mechanics. I was like, but I'm going to teach him. I'm going to make him a great D tackle. They was like, we pay you too much to let this guy play and you stand on the sideline.
Is that crazy that
So-
we both did the same thing?
Yep.
And I wanted to do it for him?
It's always about the money.
Hey,
Nah,
but
it wasn't about the money. It was about, yeah, but to them it's the money, yeah. And so that's why when he told me his story, I'm like, man, I try to do that in Atlanta. So it's the same thing. And so that's why we have so much in common.
That's
Like
wild.
everything he did, it's like I'm following behind it, not even knowing.
Well, I can't wait to this, because
but don't follow everything.
you know what? But you know what's so crazy, Greg?
Other stuff.
He's going to be. I confirmed Charles Wilson is doing a documentary. He's going to be part of the documentary. To the playing fields, man, and it's going to be so weird how his life parallels mine, but in good and bad, and the way, and the thing about to the playing fields is basically is the obstacles that we go through as young men growing up in our neighborhood to get to be successful fathers, successful husbands, successful businessmen. But we have a journey along the way that we would like to share with a lot of young people that's going to see this documentary.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man, because everyone always assume my story is different. Nobody experienced what I experienced. There's nothing new out here in this world. You know, everyone has a story. Everyone has a journey. It's just connecting with the right people to teach you how to go on the right path. You know, you can do all the crazy stuff early on or whatever, but when you're around the right people, they're going to guide you. They're going to mentor you.
If they really have your best interest,
Yeah,
too. You know what I mean?
because there's
Because
so
you-
many people out here like,
yeah.
if I help him, then I benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they have your best interest, you know.
They must have your best interest.
Yeah, because, you know, a lot of them take you down with them. You know
Oh,
what I
yeah.
mean? You know, but I know growing up, the ones that was doing the most, hey, man, you don't want to be here right now. You know what I mean? And I thanked them for that. You know what I
They
mean?
guided you away from it.
Oh, yeah, it did. I remember one time, I don't want to say his name, but we had chapel in Oakland. And the chaplain came down, he said, don't leave, I got something for you after chapel. So after chapel, he gave me a bag with a hat in it, and it was from Folsom Prison. He said, this came from one of the, because he was a chaplain there too, this came from your guy in Folsom. He said, he's proud of you, you know what I mean? So, you know, but that same guy also said, you don't want to be here right now. Or this is what I'm about to do.
Right.
So you might want to, you know what I mean? So,
And those are stories that our young people need to hear, you know, that it's okay to start off in a certain place. It's not where you start, it's where you end. And then take them through a journey where they say to themselves, man, I don't want to go down that road that them guys went down.
but and you know what? It's just being aware too that they see people like you guys and say, hey, they came from the same place. You know, this has always been here.
Yep.
You know, but what did they do to you know, to make their lives maybe I don't want to say, because it's not bad where I came from. So it's not, you know, because I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't trade my upbringing and growing up for anything. You know that.
Nobody.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, but you know, our kids need to understand that people have also been through the same things, and if we have to go back in those communities and show them so they see us and they can put it, you know, they hear it and don't see it, they can't touch it. You know, you know, it's not reality to them.
Because if you know the first thing they can say, you don't understand, you ain't from where I'm from. But when you can tell them, yes, I am from where you're from, and I understand what you've been through. Sit down, let me tell you this story. And that's what the documentary is about. Guys that's been through things, and they're going to tell you their story. So, because these are the big things. I was just talking to a professional football player, young player. You know, he want to be, he want to, you know, score touchdowns and act like he's shooting a gun. And I called him and I pulled him to the side. I say, hey, man, why would you do that? Didn't you leave that? You know, man, people don't understand. You know, that's just something we do back from where I'm from. I say, man, I'm from East St. Louis. And where you from ain't nowhere rougher than where I'm from. So let me tell you about it.
Did
One
you
day
just
when I
ask-
sit down with you. And
You wanna
actually,
go back there?
hey, do you want to go back? 'Cause showing that, acting like you shooting a gun, that's dumb. That's dumb, man. That's going to take you back. Because you can be from where you from, but you don't have to be of where you from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a big thing, man. These kids think they the first to do something. I tell anybody, I go to any hood and stand on the worst block because I can relate to everyone.
That's right.
And it's just like, man, when I used to go around the young kids that's selling dope, I'm not gonna tell you stop. I'm gonna teach you how to do it smarter. You know, like cats told me when I was younger. They come from jail or whatever, prison. It was like, man, you know, you'll get away with more if you go to school every day. So I went to school every day. Still working my job, but I was, you know, going to school every day. And then I created a job at school, so I'm working.
I get it.
And
but,
so-
say that.
Yeah.
That's what the documentary, man. So now.
But,
hey, man,
yeah, man, it's just these young kids just caught up in social media, caught up in, oh, this guy doing this, so I want to do it. No, that's not you. Leave that behind. You know, most guys that are really about that life are not showing there about that life. Not in the sports field, not in corporate America. They trying to leave it behind. And they trying to do everything to stay away from it and pushing that person down, that old past down. They don't want it to come
Don't
back.
want it to come up.
And so these young kids don't understand that. They acting like they're tough with guns, but the guys that really tough with guns,
Don't even look like them.
yeah, and not running around with a gun. You know, they want to take your gun and beat you with your gun.
Yeah, you know, those guys, the guys that's really gangsters, they don't look like gangsters.
Nope.
They don't look nothing like a gangster, man.
don't have anything to prove.
They ain't got nothing to prove. But I tell you this, you might see him with his family and his good friends, and they sit and enjoy themselves. But trust me, that ain't the man you want to mess with. That one that's walking around with his pants hanging off and he got his drawers showing, he don't want no smoke. But that grown man, you don't want no smoke with that grown man because he got to protect his wife, his kids, his house, his
All
career,
his access and everything he sacrificed to
man.
achieve.
And that's the same way when you come in the NFL and they tell you, you know, you don't play for books no more.
Yeah.
You don't play for dorms. You don't play for room and board and all that crap. Hey, you playing for your wife, your kids, your house note, your bills. That's a different lick that you put on a man when you playing for something important.
And that's why those young guys don't understand when you get out there playing with veterans. Veterans not out here playing for them just the money and just making plays. They out here for family security, for
There you go.
longevity for down the road. They running a marathon, not a sprint.
And that's why they don't take young men out of high school and bring them to the NFL.
Yeah.
Because that's a different lick, man.
Yeah, it'll be
that's
horrible.
a war, that's a different
It'll be
lick.
horrible. They'll be all broken up because it's mentally, and then they're gonna, can't handle the mental overload from high school to college, let alone high school to the pros. They would never make it.
Yeah. Well, hey, I want to thank you for coming on, man. It's been a blessing. You know what I mean?
No worries, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate
Strong
it.
hands. Hey, man, we used to call them strong hands.
And I was gonna play baseball, but I played little league baseball. But the coach told me I can't run over the catchers. I'm like, why not? They do it in the pros. All I wanted to do is hit home runs, run over to them and catch it, and be a catcher. They put me at third base. I was like, I don't want to be here. That thing come hot.
Yeah, the hot corner.
Yeah, that thing come hot. I've been hit in the testicles and the chin. And I was like, well, they run my baseball career.
Yeah, you knew early, huh?
Yeah.
You know early. Well, James, what's that saying we do at the show?
We have a saying that we say here, and it's called breaking chains and building dreams. You are a young man that's broke a chain
Yep.
and built a dream. God bless you, and thank you for showing your love here at Life After Sports 23 with James Harris.
Greg Vaughn.
I appreciate
thank you.
y'all
Yeah,
having me, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.